Hours of practice, days in the gym, and years to perfect it. For a Southeastern Conference gymnast, it's all about setting your sights on that perfect score. It's been a long road in the Southeastern Conference, but it's time for one team to stand out, boasting the top 4 teams in the nation, including the undefeated Florida Gators. Tonight, it's time for a showdown. The defending national champion Georgia Gym Dogs are here, along with the Alabama Crimson Tide and the 4th-ranked LSU Tigers. It's time to crown a champion from the only conference that reigns supreme in collegiate gymnastics. The 2007 SEC Championships are next.
Mississippi State wins. Go, let's go, here comes the ball. Go.
Welcome to Alltel Arena in Little Rock, Arkansas. 7 teams, 4 top-ranked squads, but only one team can go home as the SEC champion. The crowd is rocking, and all have a shot at winning it tonight. Welcome, everybody, the 2007 SEC Gymnastics Championships from North Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm Corey Kessler. The teams are ready, we're ready, and so are the defending national champion Georgia Gym Dogs. Let's send it over to Lori Strong-Ballard for more.
For the first time ever, these SEC championships are in Arkansas, here at Alltel Arena. 7 of the top teams in the country will go head-to-head, one night of competition to determine the SEC champion. And 4 of those teams are the best in the country: Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU. And the Gators are on top right now. After enjoying an undefeated season, they are led by a consistent and confident senior class, but it is the freshmen who have really fired things up for this Florida team. Amanda Castillo is one of the top freshman all-arounders in the country, and Melanie Sinclair has scored 2 perfect 10s on the bars already this season. Florida is hot, and they haven't won an SEC title since 1989. But the defending national champions, the Georgia Gym Dogs, are back for a fight. They have won the last 3 SEC titles, and the Gym Dogs once again are stacked with talent. They boast the defending national all-around titleist Courtney Kupets and 2 of the top all-arounders in the country in Katie Heenan and Tiffany Tolnay. Now, for the University of Alabama, their head coach, Sarah Patterson, says this is the youngest team that she has coached in 15 years. So inexperience may play a role here. But Alabama is a program that is known for gearing up for these big-time competitions. And talk about peaking at the right time. LSU has gotten better every week, and right now they are on top of their game, ranked 4th in the country and boasting the top all-arounder in Ashley Claire Kearney. And Ashley is capable of scoring a perfect 10 on vault on any given day. So with all 7 teams ranked in the top 25, things could get interesting here. I'm here now with Georgia head coach Suzanne Yocklin. And Suzanne, you have 15 SEC titles. You've coached in this conference for 24 years. What do you think of the level of talent and the competitiveness of the conference this year?
Well, it's just unbelievable in all sports, not just in gymnastics. You put good people, good teams together, good athletes, and the coaches get more and more competitive, and winning just becomes contagious. Everyone wants to win that title, and everyone's getting better and better and better, and the parity is getting closer and closer.
As the defending SEC champions, who are you most concerned with here, and could there be a dark horse that could come into play?
I'm mostly concerned with us. I mean, if we do what we can do, what we're capable of doing, I don't think there'll be any doubt in anyone's mind that Georgia will come out on top. I really feel like we're that deep on every single event. But, you know, with that said, we can make mistakes, and there are so many good teams here tonight that really anyone could win. I think different events, you'll see a lot of highlights, and on different events, different key performances will make a difference. Certainly the starter on each event is key, and the finisher, because you want to have a lot of momentum going into your next event.
You've always talked about the importance of building momentum and getting a good draw. Now, Georgia drew beam first. Right. What do you think of that, and how will that play out?
Well, we love that, I think. I'll know more after we competed, but, you know, typically this year that is our best event. We are #1 in the country on beam. We've been very consistent the whole season. We have 2 Olympians competing that event for us, and if we can get a good start on that event, 49.4 or something, you know, around there, it'll put the pressure on everyone else, and the momentum will definitely be for Georgia right then.
Well, we're almost ready to get going here. The podium's up. The stage is set for what might be the most intense SEC championship competition ever. Good luck, coach, as you head to beam. Back to you, Corey.
Thanks, Lori. Let's get this underway. The competition draw takes place the day before the SEC Gymnastics Championships. The top athletes choose a package from a hat that determines where they will rotate in this event.
Florida will start on the vault. That's where they started in every home meet, and they feel comfortable with this. But in the last rotation, Florida will not be competing, and Georgia and Alabama will know exactly what they need to win. Now, the home team, Arkansas, got the luck of the draw, starting with a bye and finishing up on the floor.
Stay close. The SEC Championships are coming up. Welcome back to North Little Rock, Arkansas for the 2007 SEC Gymnastics Championships. I'm Corey Kessler, joined by Lori Strong-Ballard. Lori, a look at the first rotation.
Well, Florida starts on vault, a strong event for them. Landings will be key there. Georgia starts on the beam. We heard Suzanne Yochlin mention that that would be a key event for them. They must be consistent and hit at least 5 strong routines.
And here is her gymnast, Grace Taylor, who Suzanne Yochlin says is very spunky, and she's a spark plug. Hopefully she'll get them started on the right foot.
The coaching staff at Georgia can't say enough about this athlete. She has been phenomenal for them this year. And of course, Suzanne mentioned the importance of those lead-off and the final competitors on every event. One arm back handspring layout, finishes with a smile. Excellent job. When Suzanne asked Grace about leading off this entire competition for the Georgia Gym Dogs, she said, "Suzanne, no problem."
And no problem so far on this routine.
And remember, the SEC Championships is a pressure cooker. There are 7 teams competing. 4 events are competing all at the same time. So there's noises and music going on in the background. You're hearing cheers from different fans happening at different times. So concentration is so important for these athletes. Focusing into her front aerial. Excellent job pulling the arms on top. Not a single wobble throughout this first routine. Grace is getting the job done for Georgia. Just the dismount here. 2 back handsprings, do a double twist, tiny hop on the landing. That's the routine Suzanne was hoping to get from Grace. Great job.
And it couldn't have come at a better time for Suzanne Yochlin and her Georgia Gym Dogs. One more look at the freshman's performance on beam, Lori. A
layout that lands 2 feet needs extra power, and that's difficult to get it out of a 1-arm back handspring. Grace does a nice job with her tumble series.
And a 9.875 for Grace Taylor. Now we move to Florida on vault. Here's Breanne King, who does have a 9.9 back in 04.
And she matched that career high earlier this year when she nailed this vault against Auburn. That's what Florida's looking for here. Yurchenko layout full, small hop on the landing. Now, Breanne is 5'8" tall, and that's considered tall for a gymnast, so she needs to key in on her technique on this vault. Really good job of blocking solidly off of the table to get her plenty of height to finish a full twist and 1 rotation.
A 9.775. Here's the freshman Summer Hubbard for the LSU Tigers.
So now we go from a 5'8" gymnast to a 4'11". It's great to see so many different body types. Giant full to a ginger. She does an excellent job of laying that body out in the ginger. Healy straddle back to handstand.
Summer says the team she most enjoys competing against is Arkansas. Of course, they are the home team tonight.
Beautiful stretch position in the air. Lands stiff-legged on the dismount. She is so tight through this routine and so quick. Giant full into the ginger. That was the release element I was talking about, getting that really stretched out, laid out position. Most of the athletes do it with a pike in their hips.
A 9.875 for Summer Hubbard. Here's Heather Height for the University of Kentucky with her floor exercise.
Kentucky has already had a couple athletes competing on floor. They've had a fairly strong showing so far. A 9.85 and a few in the 9.75 range.
You were talking about height of these athletes. Heather is 4'11" tall.
Opening with a double pike. Solid on the landing. She is such a competitor, and that's one thing she says that she loves about Kentucky gymnastics, is working hard and competing.
Scored a 9.9 on the floor exercise at Florida.
Earlier this season, we talked about her comeback story. She had bones removed from her knees in the fall, and they weren't sure how long it was going to take for Heather to recuperate, to recover from such a surgery. It really hasn't been done very often. Heather worked very hard, came back, and has been so strong for this Kentucky team. It's impressive to see her on floor tumbling like this. Sky-high double back. Double turn with leg above into a wolf full. Heather does a nice job with all of her leaps and jumps. Beautiful execution, and here comes the final tumbling pass. Front full to a front tuck. Another solid landing. 3 tumbling passes under her belt. Not huge risk or difficulty here, and that will hold her back from getting those 9.9s and 9.95s, but this will still be a strong score. Opening pass, double pike. Nice stretch off the floor. Traveling a little bit backwards, but she holds on to a solid landing.
A 9.850 for Heather Height as we take a look at the top all-arounder in the nation, Ashley Claire Kearney for LSU. She knows the strength of this competition here at the SEC Championships will be a test.
You know, the SEC is so hard. There's so many great teams out there. You know, the top 4 teams in the country are from the SEC. So it's really exciting to come in here and be able to compete and have your teammates all behind you. And it's going to be such an intense meet. And I'm not really thinking about, you know, the rankings or what I place or, you know, where I am coming into it, because that messes you up. But, you know, I hope to do well, and I hope to, you know, maintain the stride I'm on now.
Ashley has a great chance of winning this all-around title, but if you ask any one of these athletes here, and they would say that their eye is on that team title. Ashley's known for the power events, but they need a strong, clean routine from her on the bars.
Of course, LSU ranked 4th in the country coming into the meet. Looking for a strong performance from Ashley.
Excellent job so far, hitting the handstands. Giant full right on top, into her dismount, nails the landing. That is what LSU needs. The most eye-catching and impressive part of this routine was the release element. Take a look at the height she gets here. It's called a Tkachev, and she is 3 or 4 feet above the bar. So impressive.
And the judges score a 9.850 for Ashley Claire Kearney. Don't go anywhere. Straight ahead, it's Florida's fabulous freshman Amanda Castillo and the Gym Dogs all-around ace Katie Heenan. Georgia fans here at Alltel Arena in North Little Rock, Arkansas, welcome back to the 07 Gymnastics Championships. Corey Kessler, Lori Strong-Ballard, and this is Courtney Kupets for the University of Georgia.
So let's catch you up on where Georgia stands right now. They have had 1 fall on the balance beam, and now they are depending on Courtney Kupets to hit. She's not only the #1 ranked beam worker in the country right now, she's the defending national champion on this event, and that's why. Back handspring layout, solid as can be.
And a 2-time Olympic medalist, Courtney Kupets.
And as an Olympian, she knows all about this intense pressure. Required full turn. Well done. Again, you can hear the floor music in the background. At times, it's quite loud in this arena. Concentration is key. Courtney still has another major connection coming up here. Switch leap, beautiful split position into a gainer layout, another solid landing. Florida has been hitting on the vault. Georgia cannot afford to count a fall on this first event. 2 back handsprings to a double back. Chest a little bit low on the landing. She takes a small step, but a solid routine. This routine is packed full of difficulty from start to finish, and it ends with an E-level skill, the most difficult skill you can do in gymnastics. That's the double back, a little bit low on the chest again, and a tiny step on the landing, but not many deductions.
The judges scored a 9.825 for the sophomore from Georgia. Amanda Castillo now, the freshman who is so talented for the Florida Gators.
Throwing some big-time difficulty here. Yurchenko, 1.5 twist, tiny hop on the landing. Look at that enthusiasm. That's the kind of energy that head coach Rhonda Fain says has brought so much to this Florida team. She adds some extra difficulty to this vault by adding another half twist to the full. Most of the athletes are doing the full twist. Amanda went 1 step further.
One of the best gymnasts for the Georgia Gym Dogs is Katie Heenan. She's a team leader with a proven record. Here's Lori Strong-Ballard with more.
Katie Heenan was already a decorated gymnast before coming to UGA. 6 times Heenan was a member of the U.S. national team, and at the 2001 World Championships, she won a bronze medal on the bars.
To make it into finals with my idols like Corkina and then to medal and to stand up next to her on that stand was really like a dream come true. And even my dad in the stands was, I think he shed a tear because it was kind of like almost like a fairy tale story.
It's something that we appreciated in Katie, and certainly something that she holds close to her heart as an accomplishment that she had. But she never fell back on that. She never had an attitude, well, you know, I was a world, medalist.
When it came time to attend college, Heenan's heart was out west.
My heart, honestly, was set on UCLA, but when we started doing the recruiting, the coaches came into the house, and I kind of fell in love with Georgia and the idea of the South. And I took my trips to visit, and on my way back from visiting Georgia, I called Jay Clark and told him that I was coming. There was no doubt in my mind that this is where I wanted to be.
I can remember, sitting by myself with her and her family on the hillside the day of a football game and just having a really heart-to-heart, honest conversation. What are your concerns? What are people saying about us that you want to talk about? And I think that she really felt the sincerity in the conversation that, above all else, if she came to Georgia, we would always know where each other stood. I sense that there was just a connection there that day on that side of that hill at the football game.
And since Katie put on the Georgia uniform, she has been the go-to girl for the Gym Dogs. Her reputation for stepping up in the clutch began at the 2005 SEC Championships. As a freshman, she anchored the beam, and in Georgia's final rotation, her routine secured another SEC title for the Gym Dogs.
I told her, she's in that position because I believe in her. It's clear and simple. I believe in her. And, we have so much confidence in Katie that it doesn't matter what's at stake. It doesn't matter how many people fell before her or what score she needs. We don't even talk about it. I just look at her. It's like an eye contact thing, and it's like, the meet's not over till Katie finishes beam, and that's what we told her that day before the SEC Championship. The meet's not over till Katie dismounts beam, and she loves that. She loves it. She embraces that position.
That is probably one of my highlights here at Georgia, just because when I landed that beam routine, it was in Gwinnett, and so the whole arena, it seemed like, stood up, and we knew right there that we had won it. And I just felt so honored to be in that position.
Don't be fooled by that smile. Katie Heenan is a fierce competitor, but she loves to perform and put on a show.
I just have so much fun doing what I'm doing, and I'm loving life now. And it's kind of like everything that I went through before I got here. This is just such a reward for all that hardship, all that pain, and all the hours I put in the gym, and not going to school, and all those different things, and this is like the ultimate reward.
I think it's just the sincerity of Katie. She's not smiling because she's putting on a show. She's not smiling because I said you have to smile when you do floor exercise. She just loves it, and she feels it, and she loves to perform.
And she'll have her chance right now as she's about to perform on beam, Lori.
And once again, she's the anchor of this lineup, and Georgia has had one fall. This year, the circumstances are flipped. Beam is Georgia's first event in 05. It was their last event. But without a doubt, Georgia's SEC title hopes depend on Katie getting a hit here. Straddle jump to a sheep jump. It's important when an athlete's under this kind of pressure to keep going over the key phrases and keywords in their mind. Front tuck to a wolf jump, solid.
Watching her on the beam, Lori, what differences do you notice about her than maybe in 05?
Well, pretty much she's competing the same routine she competed as a freshman, but maybe now with a little bit more confidence. She's really attacking some of the combinations like the front tuck to the wolf jump that we saw earlier.
And of course, the anchor of the defending national champion, Georgia Gym Dogs, looks like she's preparing for her dismount.
Round off double twist, and again, just like in 05, she nails the landing. So Georgia gets their 5th stuck routine. 6 athletes compete, 5 scores must count. They can drop their fall, and that is the combination I was talking about. You can see the smile on her face as she finishes the jump. She knew she got after that front tuck to a wolf jump.
And a smile for the Georgia Gym Dogs, a 9.90 for Katie Heenan. Here's Ashley Reed, the junior for the University of Florida.
Florida and Georgia matching scores at this point. Ashley going for the big difficulty with the 1.5, the same vault we saw Amanda Castillo just perform, but it was clean and very good on the landing.
She says her best events are the vault and bars, and this was a nice vault for Ashley Reed.
People around the country have talked about Florida's upgrade in difficulty, and it's vaults like that that really solidify that statement.
So after the first rotation, Georgia with a slight edge. LSU digging themselves an early hole. We'll be back with rotation 2. Welcome back to the SEC Gymnastics Championships. Fans of all ages enjoying the performances today. Of course, the Arkansas Razorbacks are the home team. We will see them in this rotation, the second rotation. And here's the lineup, Lori.
So Arkansas's on the vault. For Auburn, they've improved their consistency on bars this year. LSU, the beam will be a critical event for them. And for Alabama, who's a young team, they will be able to dance away some of those early jitters.
This is Christy Esposito from outside of New Orleans. She will compete for the LSU Tigers, hopefully get them off to a better start here in this second rotation, Lori.
LSU hit 6 bar routines, but they just weren't as sharp as they need to be competitive at this point in the competition. 2 back handsprings to a layout, solid tumble series for Christy. Now Christy was second on beam at the 05 National Championships competing for Nebraska. She then transferred back to her home state of Louisiana to compete for LSU, but had to sit out a year. Now she's starting to get back into that championship form, showing some of the confidence that she showed early in her career at Nebraska.
You would think it was an easy transition for Christy. She's an All-American, academic All-American.
Front aerial, solid. Christy has a big dismount planned. You'll see Coach Bob Moore stepping in for this E-level dismount. Not a problem. Double back, 1 step on the landing, but a solid start for LSU. That's what they need right now. Here's the dismount. It's a round-off double back. It's been upgraded in the collegiate system to an E-level skill. She gets 2/10 a bonus right there, and a smile on her face shows you that she is proud.
A 9.850 for Christy Esposito of the LSU Tigers. And this is what the home crowd has been waiting for, their first look at the Arkansas Gymbacks.
Here's freshman Casey Jo McGee performing Yurchenko half front layout, and she lands it. The weight was well worth it. Huge start for Arkansas. This is the kind of vault you dream of in a meet like this. Let's take a look. Good strong block. You can actually see the table rock. The position in the air was fully laid out, and she nails the landing.
A 9.85 for Casey Jo McGee. And here's a look at the Auburn junior, Amy Goheen, on bars.
Auburn has been struggling with depth after several of their key athletes have gone down recently with injuries. Amy herself is coming back from one, and this is only her 4th meet back in competition. Half to eagle grip giants. Nice extension there. She'll half out right on top. Well done. Into the dismount, double back. Tries to hold on to the landing. Possibly a 0.5 deduction for that step.
Auburn a big underdog in this event, but still ranked 17th in the country.
And the ultimate goal for Auburn is to qualify a full team to the national championships. But because of the injuries here, they were concerned whether or not they were going to field a full team. And Amy comes through big when the chips are down for Auburn.
You see the score, 9.725. As we take our first look at the University of Alabama and Cassie Price, one of the best all-arounders in the country, on floor.
A great starting event for Alabama. They are strong on the floor exercise, and when you're talking about competing with a young team, it's a good event because nerves don't often play a factor on floor, and it'll mean that their legs will be strong and fresh. Opening pass for Cassie is a triple full. Well done. Cassie competed in the all-around earlier in the season, but then was suffering from a stress reaction, very painful injury in her leg. So head coach Sarah Patterson decided to rest her on this event to keep her healthy and fresh for the championship portion of the season right now.
It's got an upbeat rhythm to it. I like the style of this performance.
Combination of jumps, cat double to a cat 1.5. She'll gain bonus points for that. Third and final tumbling pass coming up now. She has not been competing on floor very often. Endurance could be a problem. Not here, finishing with a strong double pike. Great start for this competition for Alabama. 3 explosive tumbling passes for Cassie, and she showed a variety of skills. Her opening pass was a twisting element, a triple twist. The judges want to see all 3 twists fully completed. Let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, a little bit slightly under-rotated, but remember, when it's in fast motion, it is so difficult for these judges to see it.
High fives galore for Cassie Price, a 9.875. There's Arkansas co-head coach Mark Cook. This is the first time the SEC Championships have been in Alltel Arena, and they're excited to be the host.
As a coaching body in the SEC, all of us, we've had these meetings every year, and we've talked about trying to spread this championship around the SEC. And it's just been kind of difficult trying to find different venues. And we came up with the Alltel Arena, and they were so gracious to, work with us as far as getting this venue for this competition. So getting it in some different areas of the country, or even within the SEC, is kind of nice, because it helps build the fan bases of the different programs, brings it to the home crowds, and just makes it even more exciting.
Hosting an SEC Championships will definitely be a boost for this young Arkansas program. Now up on vault, a freshman, Michelle Stout, who earlier this season set a school record on this event, a Yurchenko layout full. Excellent job, beautiful height and explosiveness off of that table.
A national vaulting champion in the Junior Olympics.
Now Arkansas does have a growing fan base, and that was helped by last year. They qualified a full team to the national championships for the first time, and their program's only been in existence for 4 years.
A 9.85 for Michelle Stout. The crowd is into it. Last year's SEC Gymnast of the Year, Julie Dwyer, is up next. Welcome back to Alltel Arena, the 2007 SEC Gymnastics Championships. You can see the crowd is into it, and Julie Dwyer, she is ready for her performance on bars.
And you mentioned it, she was last year's SEC Gymnast of the Year, and this year her gymnastics is even better, and once again she is the rock of this Auburn team.
Of course, she was the SEC Freshman of the Year in her first campaign with the team.
Julie has quite a career going. Combination of her Tkachev straddle back to handstand on the low bar. See head coach Jeff Thompson stepping in for the difficult skills just in case. Excellent job finishing with a double layout, a solid clean routine.
Julie Dwyer gets a hug from her coach as we take a look at the replay.
Not a huge amount of difficulty in this routine, but she meets the requirements. A little shy on a couple of her handstands, and that will hold her back from getting those 9.9s and 9.95s.
But she does come up with a 9.8. As we take a look now at Kelly Phelan, the senior for the LSU Tigers.
Now we saw Christy Esposito hit a nice set, but since then LSU has suffered 1 fall. 6 athletes compete, and 5 scores count towards that team score.
Kelly has been one of LSU's most consistent and dependable athletes, and they need her right here.
As a senior, they're counting on her, and she is off on her tumble series. You could see the mistake happen in her second element, her second back handspring. She was definitely crooked. She meant to do a back layout as that third element. So not only will she lose 5/10 for the fall deduction, but she'll also lose some points off of her start value because she won't get the combination bonus for that tumble series. It was not completed. Big miss for LSU. They will now have to count a fall on this apparatus. Front tuck was solid for Kelly.
She competed in all 15 all-arounds for LSU last year in every one of their meets.
Dismount, round off, double twist. Solid. A good finish to the routine, but a big miss at the beginning with the tumble series, and she knows it.
What happened here, Lori?
This was out of character for this senior who's normally so consistent. Take a look right here. You could see her first foot on that second back handspring came down on the corner of the beam. She was so crooked, was absolutely unable to throw that back layout safely.
A pep talk from Dee Bro and a score of 9.075 for Kelly Phelan. How about Alabama's Morgan Dennis, freshman from West Hampton, New Jersey, with her floor routine?
Morgan is tied for 4th in the country on this exercise. She has scored as high as a 9.975, and boy, can she tumble. So powerful, stepping into the footsteps of other Alabama powerful tumblers like Ashley Miles and Andrea Pickens, opening with a huge double layout. Excellent job. Little change up in the music, and we'll see a change up in the tumbling here. Showing more difficulty, another E-level skill. It's a full in, back out, and a solid landing.
You could make an argument, Lori, that if you win the SEC championship, you are in line to win a national championship. There are so many great teams here at this event.
Many say that this competition is a mini national championships. And think about the experience, the competitive experience that these athletes get, and that helps prepare them as they head to the national championships in just a month.
Of course, the top 4 teams in the country are here in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU.
Final tumbling pass for freshman Morgan Dennis. Big difficulty here as well. Front through to a double back. Another pretty good landing. Great routine. Some of the biggest difficulty in this competition so far.
High fives for Morgan Dennis as we take a look one more time.
Opening pass was an E-level skill, the double layout, one of the most difficult things that you can do in gymnastics, and Morgan makes it look easy. The height is just incredible.
A 9.925 for Morgan Dennis. Ashley Claire Kearney, the top all-arounder in the country. You saw her top beam score this season.
LSU already counting a fall. They cannot give up any more here on the balance beam. Switch leap to a tuck full, solid. Ashley has had such a tremendous year so far. As a freshman, she only competed a couple of events. Then as a sophomore, she broke her ankle in the first competition and had to sit on the sidelines for the rest of the year. And now she comes back, and heading into these SEC championships, she's ranked #1 in the country in the all-around. She said it was quite motivating to sit on the sidelines at last year's SEC championships and not be able to do anything. And now all of a sudden she finds herself in a position to do some great things for this LSU team.
And they need her right here, as they didn't perform too well in the first rotation. You need to jumpstart in this second rotation.
Dismount, gainer pike to the end. No wobble, solid. Ashley gets the job done. Let's take a look at one of the requirements. 2 leaps or jumps connected, a switch leap. She gets the 180-degree split into a tuck full. A twisting jump is very difficult on the balance beam.
And that'll wrap up rotation 2. LSU is the only team that has completed 2 events.
Alabama had a strong showing on floor for LSU. They didn't get the score that they'd hoped for.
Rotation 3 is up next. Welcome back to the SEC Gymnastics Championships. Kentucky coach Mo Mitchell's team will be on vault as we look at the third rotation.
Both Florida and Georgia are back on the competition floor, and for Auburn, beam is usually a strong and consistent event.
Let's listen to Kentucky's Crystal Cook on her high hopes for this SEC championship.
I think it'd be a great chance for us to finish top 5. I think we're really capable of it, and I just want these freshmen to go out there and have a great chance to compete on podium in a great arena and just have fun. It's good way to end my senior year, and I really want the girls to have fun.
Crystal has been a tremendous leader for this Kentucky team. They're ranked 17th on this event, the vault. Crystal doing a Yurchenko half front layout. Beautiful landing. Feet hit the mat, didn't move. Just like every team at this point in the season, landings are crucial, especially in a competition like this. Kentucky and Crystal will love this one.
Nice landing, and she knew it. The judges knew it too. A 9.9 for Kentucky's Crystal Cook. Now to last year's SEC Gymnast of the Year, Julie Dwyer for Auburn on beam.
Now Auburn went 6 for 6 on bars, showing some good consistency again there, but on beam, they have already had 2 falls.
All eyes on Julie Dwyer. Must be so much pressure. The SEC Championships, the cameras are focused on you, the fans are focused on you.
Showing no problem with the pressure there, nailing her tumble series, back handspring, layout. And you know, to add to the pressure, these athletes are competing on a podium. It's a raised surface where the apparatus is up on a stage. So the athletes are really in full view of these fans. They are put up on a pedestal. They compete on podium at the Olympics and the World Championships. So at very high level competitions, we see the athletes compete on podium.
Truly on a spotlight.
Front tuck solid, right into a changement. It's unfortunate because Auburn usually is fairly consistent on this event. Rochelle Thompson does a really good job in instilling confidence in her athletes and preparing them, but they have struggled here. Auburn has 2 falls, but so far for Julie, a solid routine, just the dismount. Round off double twist, gets the landing. The athletes are required to show both forward and backward skills. We saw the front tuck to the changement, and this was her tumble series. A very difficult back handspring, layout. Excellent job of controlling the arms on the landing.
A 9.875 for Julie Dwyer. She gets some high fives from her teammates. Here's the senior, Kelsey Erickson, for the defending national champion, Georgia Gym Dogs.
And Kelsey was the all-around winner at last year's SEC Championships, and she took home 3 titles there. She was so dominant last year. She is not competing in the all-around tonight, only 3 events, because she's still recovering from a torn plantar fascia. Opening with a sky-high double pike.
And if that music doesn't rev up these fans, I'm not sure what will.
Georgia's ranked number 2 in the country on floor exercise. They're coming off of a solid beam performance. Coach Suzanne Yocklin said it would be so important to hit beam that would set the tone. And here they can really let loose on floor. Start building with the scores. We talked about the athletes competing on podium, so this floor is up onto a raised surface, and it actually makes the floor a little bit bouncier, springier for the athletes, which in some ways can be good, a little bit easier on their bodies. But in other ways, they have to make adjustments in terms of their landings and their tumbling. They had 1 day to practice. The day before this competition, they had what was called podium training, where all the athletes get 1 day of practice up on the podium equipment. Final tumbling pass. For Kelsey Erickson, a double back. You can see her bouncing out of the landing just a little bit there, but she holds it in bounds.
Suzanne Yocklin, one of the first ones up to congratulate Kelsey Erickson on this performance.
Now Kelsey's capable of doing even more difficulty than we saw in this routine. When she's healthy and has the training time, her middle pass was a front full to a front full. She gets combination bonus for that, and it should be a solid score, 9.825 for Georgia.
Okay, our first look at the University of Florida on bars. This is Ashley Reed. You saw her top score in 07.
Now Florida struggled with their first competitor who only scored a 9.5. They hope to drop that score if Ashley and the next 2 competitors hit big time here. Beautiful high to Kachev, pirouette to a bail to handstand. There's Adrian Burde, their new bar coach. He comes from Romania originally. He's done a great job with this bar team. Dismount, double layout. Bending the legs, trying to find that landing. At this point in the competition, every 10th will count for these teams.
The Gators coming in undefeated, the #1 ranked team in the country.
And you know, Ashley has a unblemished record on bars this year. She has not missed a routine, and we saw her high of a 9.95, a little short of that here, a 9.875.
This is the go-to girl for the Georgia Gym Dogs, Katie Heenan, the top all-arounder for the Georgia Gym Dogs. This will be her floor routine.
Now, Katie has plenty of experience on competing on podium, being in the spotlight. She's competed at the World Championships.
Of course, it's interesting to note that Florida and Georgia were in a tie in a dual meet earlier in the season. So a lot of competition between those two schools and every SEC school that is here.
Front double twist to a punch front. Katie's using a sting mat, and it's a requirement to outline the boundary lines on that mat, or there'll be a deduction, and usually the athletes use that sting mat to help protect their bodies. Ankles, shins, legs take a beating on this event. The routine is about 1.5 minutes long, 3 tumbling passes usually. And it is go, go, go from start to finish. Katie will slow it down a little bit here. Show off that great personality and smile. At this point in the season, it's not just about hitting the tumbling and being clean. It's about adding those final touches, adding the personality to the floor. The small details, the finishing of all of the dance elements, as well as the tumbling and the landings. A solid finish, double layout, huge expression. Great routine for Katie.
Remember, not only are you watching the best in the Southeastern Conference here, but you're watching the best in the entire country. The Gym Dogs are the defending national champions.
And at one point, Katie was one of the best in the world in this sport. As a veteran, she made some good adjustments to the bounce of this floor, and she used it to her advantage in that 2 salto tumbling pass.
And she was rewarded with a 9.9 by the judges. Katie Heenan and the Gym Dogs looking good. We got much more. Tiffany Tolnay, the All-American, is gearing up for her floor routine next. The fans here at Alltel Arena excited about hosting the first SEC Gymnastics Championships in Arkansas. I'm Corey Kessler, joined by Lori Strong-Ballard. That's Amanda Castillo, one of the top all-arounders in the entire nation.
Amanda has 2 major release elements planned here. First one comes here out of a Freya path, right into her Jaeger. Nice handstand into her Tkachev, out bar Tkachev. She'll take it down to the low bar, transition there, bail to handstand. Again, the judges want to see those vertical positions in the handstands. A little short on that one. So far, a clean, crisp, tight routine and a nailed landing. Excellent job. This was the first release element. It was well above the bar, which is something that the judges are also looking for.
So the Gators and their freshman, a 9.900 for Amanda Castillo. And here's the All-American Tiffany Tolnay on floor. Of course, it was Tiffany's all-around performance last year at the NCAAs that helped Georgia earn its 7th national title.
Opening with big difficulty, a double Arabian sky high, bounces out of the landing and takes an out of bounds. 1/10 mandatory deduction if you step over those lines. Front full to a front full. Good job in the landing, staying within the boundaries. Now Tiffany has scored a 9.925 in the last 2 meets. But remember, Georgia has not competed in the last 2 weeks. So they have a little bit of built-up energy, possibly dealing a little bit with that adrenaline here on the floor, which of course is a little bit bouncier because it's up on the podium.
And coming into this competition as the 2nd-ranked team in the country, trailing the University of Florida. They're not used to that. Usually they're the #1 team in the country.
Final tumbling pass. Double pike, a solid landing. Excellent finish to the routine, but a deduction in that first tumbling pass. Let's take a look at what happened here. Big time difficulty. It's an E-level skill, so she gets 2/10 of bonus. It's a double Arabian. She does a half turn on takeoff into 2 rotations forward. It's a blind landing, simply bounces out of it, steps out of bounds. That's 2/10 there.
There you see the lower score for Tiffany, a 9.7. As we look at another freshman for the University of Florida, Melanie Sinclair. Let's hear more about this talented group of freshmen.
To make a team, you need to become a family.
Common attitudes, interests, goals. A good definition for one of the most talented gymnastics families in the country. A family that practically all comes from the same place. 6 current members of the top-ranked Florida gymnastics team hail from the same gym in Central Florida.
Obviously, we have a tremendous amount of talent on our team from Orlando and comes from Metro, and we just really feel that since there is so much talent and I have a great relationship with that program, that this is the place for them. This is the home for all of those athletes.
Home was once Orlando Metro. Now home is the University of Florida. The decision for 6 gymnasts to become Gators and head to Gainesville began with Ashley Reed and Tiffany Murray.
We both liked it a lot, and she, had other ideas. She wasn't sure where she wanted to go, but, I knew I wanted to come here, and she just made that decision along too, so we were happy to come together.
When I went to other schools, it was I felt like I had to meet all these people and I was out there by myself. But when I came here, my teammate was there. It's kind of like we were in it together, and it made me not as shy, I guess, to meet the other girls, and it was a little more fun that way.
And these 2 teammates started the trend of traveling from Orlando to the O'Connell Center. A trend that not only gymnasts noticed, but one that Coach Rhonda Fain took note of too.
Tiffany and Ashley have done such an amazing job, and their work ethic and their attitudes. I knew I couldn't make a mistake by signing other athletes from that gym.
At practice, back at home, speaking with Melanie during practice, we'd be like, yeah, it's so cool. Like, maybe we could go to college together, and it just ended up that we ended at the same school.
We're in middle school together. I remember we used to carpool together, hanging out and everything, and I never imagined that we'd be in the same school together. You never really think about that, but like we were walking down the street the other day and we were like, I can't believe we're in college. And I was like, I know. I was like, it's crazy. We're in college together.
From the freshmen to the juniors on the team, being together again has definitely had its rewards for these Orlando Metro grads.
It's just great because you'll have those days, those rough days, and you have that bond with your new teammates too, but then there are those times where you just need those old memories to help you get through, and they just know what to say to help you through those rough days.
Why not be here at Florida? Because it's close to home. We can have the support. Their parents and their family and their friends and their teammates can come and cheer them on and support them through their entire career. And it's amazing.
The support from the Gator Nation is not the only amazing factor for these Florida tumblers. No matter where these athletes are from, they have formed a team and a family in Gainesville with all the other Gator gymnasts.
They are so close, not only with each other, but with everyone else on the team, that you would really honestly never know that they were from their own gym and they'd trained together for years and years. And that was really important to me, that they are no longer that gym, but they are now University of Florida gymnasts.
I was actually surprised at how close the entire team is, and that it's not just the Metro clique and then the outsiders.
And that Metro clique has a major impact on the Gators. So will Orlando Metro continue to be the minor league for Florida gymnastics?
Feels right, and it's always been an unbelievable a positive coming out of it, of all the athletes that have ever come here from there. I'm not going to switch it up.
They're not only there to be your teammate, they're there for support as well. So, and a family is about support and love, so that's how a team works.
And this freshman class have brought to Florida what they've been missing, and that's a little bit of pizzazz. And you should have seen Amanda Castillo and Melanie Sinclair right here on bars as they walked into the arena today, pumping their fists, cheering. Not at all fazed by the pressure of this competition. And Mel doing a fantastic job here in her very difficult bar routine. She's ranked #1 in the country on this event and has scored 2 perfect 10s. And so far, it's been clean and solid.
And her team #1 in the country, and her football team #1 in the country, and her basketball team #1 in the country. You talk about family.
And looking to take this Florida team to the top today. Nice routine, tiny hop on the landing. She won't get the 10 there, but a big score should come for Florida.
An impressive athletics family for the University of Florida as we look at the dismount once again.
Now in a championship competition like this, there are 4 judges. You can see them surrounding the bars. The high and the low scores are taken away, and the average of the other 2 scores give you that final score. And for Mel, it was a 9-9.
And here's Courtney McCool, another freshman, this time for the Georgia Gym Dogs. And we've already seen a couple step outs for the Georgia Gym Dogs in this rotation, so the Gym Dogs relying on a good performance by McCool.
2.5 twist to a front layout, opening pass. Add to the pressure for Georgia with the fact that Florida has been hitting bars. And in the last rotation, Alabama hit their floor sets. Second tumbling pass, whip to a double twist.
Of course, Courtney used to big-time pressure, a silver medalist from the Olympic Games.
Little stumble out of her double turn, leg above horizontal. Courtney is known around the world for her beautiful classic lines. She has very well-trained basics. She's been using this year to really get back into that competition mode. She didn't compete after the 2004 Olympic Games until the start of this season. Last time we passed, and she steps out of bounds. That's the 3rd out of bounds for Georgia. Not as bad as taking a fall, counting a fall, but that will be 3/10 deduction for them. 1/10 for each step out of bounds. And in a competition that is this competitive, the 4 top teams in the country going head-to-head here, you cannot afford to give away even a single 10th like this. Courtney has come a long way with her gymnastics this year. Coming back from injury, this is not indicative of where she is in her gymnastics.
A 9.725 from the judges. And here are the scores after the 3rd rotation. Georgia loses some ground, but they're not too far behind. Rotation 4 is coming up next. Arkansas co-head coaches Mark and Renee Cook. Very pleased to be hosting their first SEC Gymnastics Championship. We're headed to the 4th rotation, Lori.
And when Mark and Renee took over this program, they said it was their goal to go to nationals in 5 years. They did it last year in just 4, and now they're looking for a good showing here as they head to the bars.
This is Cassie Drew, the senior for the Arkansas Gymbacks, the home team.
Arkansas has only completed 1 event. They had a strong vault showing here. Cassie starting with a toe on Shaposhnikova to the high bar. She does a nice combination here. Giant half, front giant half, into another release element here, an out bar to Tkachev. Back down to the low bar, a little short on that bail to handstand, a little leg separation as well. Cassie's confidence and consistency as an athlete has dramatically improved in her 4 years at Arkansas, finishing big with a double layout. Small hop on the landing, but a huge salute.
Mark Cook with the double high 5. Take a look at the replay.
So Cassie starts her team off with a hit here. That was the combination of pirouetting elements into her Tkachev.
And the judges give her a 9.725. The home crowd has to appreciate that. Here's Ashley Claire Kearney. We've mentioned her before. You see her top floor score in 07 is a 9.925. She's the top all-arounder in the country.
And we talked about it, that after the first 2 events, LSU finds them in a little bit of a hole. They need to try and pump it up here. Opening huge with a double Arabian. There's Coach Bob Moore in the corner. Looks like he likes it.
Quite a gymnast to look up to. She says she idolized Dominique Dawes growing up. Of course, Dominique Dawes was an Olympian herself.
Head coach Dee Dee Bro told her team, let's go out and compete for pride now. They can be one of the best floor teams, and they still have vault to come as well, where they are very strong. Double pike for Ashley, almost getting a nailed landing. Of course, LSU lost one of their top athletes from last year, April Burkholder. She graduated. She was such a mainstay and so competitive in this lineup. And now Ashley Claire Kearney finds herself at the top of the rankings list this week. The #1 all-arounder in the country. 3 events complete. Her competition is strong tonight. Her opening tumbling pass was huge. She shows off some great power, something that she is known for. It's a double Arabian. Half turn to 2 rotations forward. Nice job in keeping her knees glued together. Quite often we see the athletes showing that cowboy position or the legs separated.
A 9.850, and Taryn Humphrey from the University of Alabama is up next and knows the importance of a good team score at this competition.
It would show all of our hard work this year, and we've overcome so many obstacles, losing an Olympian this year, you know, having an injury by our top bar, one of our top bar scorers, and it'll show that, you know, you can never give up, and just in the long run, that's what counts.
Also, head coach Sarah Patterson mentioned that this is the youngest team that she has coached in 15 years. So Taryn has to, and she has this year, stepped up as a leader. She's a junior. Half onto the table, front pike. Very good job in exploding into the air on this vault. Let's take a look. She does a half turn onto the vaulting table. She gets a nice strong block, a little bit of form deductions in the air, and the step out on the landing.
So the judges, a 9.825 for the Olympic medalist Taryn Humphrey from Alabama. Here's Brianne King. Her top beam score, you see, a 9.9 for the Florida Gators in 07.
Florida started off strong with Katie Rue leading off with a 9.85. Rhonda Fain deciding to lead off with 2 of her seniors. Katie and now Brianne King. Front aerial to side summy. Excellent job. Might be a smart choice considering the pressure of this level of competition to start with some experienced athletes. The combination here, front aerial to a back handspring. Brianne does a very nice job with her arms. They are long and they are very much a part of this routine. She finishes them nicely all the way down to her fingertips. You can see the quality dance training in her routine. And the dismount, round off, double twist, solid landing, and a solid routine. The second great routine for Florida. First connection of saltos right here, a front aerial into a side summy. Doing a good job of pulling the arms together on top, and a nice landing on the side summy, and Florida improves on their scores with a 9.875.
What a job Coach Rhonda Fain has done with her Florida Gators. #1 in the country. Well, more rotation 4 from North Little Rock, Arkansas when we come back. LSU head coach Dee Dee Bro celebrating her 30th year as the coach for the LSU gymnastics team, longer than any other coach in the Southeastern Conference.
And up now for LSU's Lauren Klein, the #2 ranked athlete on the floor in the country right now. There's a regional qualifying score of a 9.925. The biggest difficulty comes here in the opening pass, a full in back out. Well done in terms of height and position.
When asked about her favorite team, Lori, to compete against, she says the Georgia Gym Dogs. Well, she certainly knows they're in the building tonight.
Second tumbling pass. Whip half, front 1.5. That's called a Rudy. So entertaining throughout this routine. This is what makes a great floor worker, someone who can throw the big time tumbling, is explosive, and can bring the performance as well. Final tumbling pass is double back. A very animated finish for Lauren Klein's floor team. Excellent job.
And she knows it.
Opening pass was an E-level skill. She gets 2/10 of bonus here. The athletes are looking for 5/10 of bonus to give them that 10-0 start value. You see a full twist in the first rotation, then she grabs and does a second rotation in the tuck position.
The judges give her a 9.925.
One of the top floor scores tonight.
So many talented freshmen here tonight, and this is another one. Freshman Ricky Lebergern for Alabama.
Career high on vault to 9.925. That's what Alabama would like to see here. Yurchenko layout full. Hop on the landing. Ricky is Alabama's top-ranked all-arounder at this point. But again, the #1 priority for these athletes is this team competition. Ricky does a nice job to get a good, strong score for the Tide here, 9.85.
Very well done for Ricky Lebergern. Here's Corey Hartung for the University of Florida. Her top beam score, a 9.950 this season.
Now, Florida has eased some of the pressure in this competition by hitting 4 solid routines so far. Now it's up to Corey, who I say is one of the most photogenic athletes on the balance beam. Incredible flexibility in all of her leaps and jumps. Front aerial, solid. Back handspring layout, another solid series. She's very calm and poised on this event, but for my likes, she's a little bit slow in her rhythm. I like to see a little bit more of a dynamic routine. Switch leap to a back handspring swing down. Again, showing off that flexibility. Absolutely beautiful. Taking her time in the routine, concentrating for every skill, finishing with a big 2.5 twist. Nice job.
And so much anticipation for Rhonda Fain and the Florida Gators, who have not won the SEC title, as you mentioned, Lori, in the Open since 1989.
Adding difficulty to the dismount by adding an extra half twist, making it a 2.5. That's a D-level skill.
9.850 for Corey Hartung in her beam routine. Here's Morgan Dennis, the top vault score you see, 9.950 for the Alabama Crimson Tide gymnast.
And we saw her explosiveness on the floor, and once again, a huge vault for Morgan Dennis. Incredible height and distance. She does the Yurchenko full, which is one of the most popular vaults in this competition. It is scored out of a perfect 10. 4 judges will be looking at the height, the distance, the body position in the air, and of course the landing. The high score, the low score will be dropped, and the 2 are average, and her average is a 9.9.
And there were 3 key components in rotation 4.
Florida hit 5 out of 6 strong beam routines. LSU has gained some momentum, and Alabama is proving their young team is still in the race.
Fans of the #1 team in the country traveling to Alltel Arena here in North Little Rock, Arkansas for the SEC Gymnastics Championships. We are headed for rotation 5. Georgia, as you see, will be on vault, Kentucky on bars. Arkansas has the beam, Auburn on the floor, and the 3 teams that have buys are LSU, Florida, and Alabama. Coach Suzanne Yocklin has the defending national champion Georgia Gym Dogs, and she talked about what the rankings really mean coming into this championship meet.
Different schools compete in different regions with different judges, and you know, they're a good indicator of the strongest teams in the nation for sure, but is the #3 team really better than the #4 team, or the #5 team really, or the #1 team really better than the #2 team? I think, you know, until you're head-to-head on the floor, you don't really know for sure, and this competition will really show a lot about not only the rankings, but whether the rankings are valid.
All teams are evaluated by the same set of judges. Rankings are the guide, but in this competition, 7 teams go head-to-head, 1 day of competition, and the winner here will prove who's the best.
This is Courtney Coupette's on vault.
Half on front pike, beautiful stuck landing. Courtney's sister, Ashley Coupette, scored a perfect 10 on that exact same vault just a few weeks ago at their senior night competition against Michigan, and this will be close to a perfect 10 here. Fantastic pike position in the air, very tight in that pike position, and of course the stuck landing, a crucial element to a 10-0 vault. 9.975.
Impressive for Courtney Coupette, who was the NCAA all-around balance beam and bars champ last season. Of course, this is Kentucky's Emily Reimer.
Giant full, giant half. Here comes a release element here. It's a Jaeger, and she's off. Taking a look at her grip now. Oh, here comes Coach Mo Mitchell. There's an issue. It looks like her grip could be broken, which then would mean that that's an equipment failure. Coach Mo can go over and show and talk to the judges. The judges are basically telling her that it was an equipment failure. Possibly broke either on the release or on the recatch of that element, and what it means is that she will be able to go again. Athletes are prepared for this. The coaches prepare them for this. They usually have a second set of grips in their bag. So Emily went to go get that second set of grips, and she'll start from scratch now. It's a clean slate.
No point deduction.
Here comes that release element. Not a problem here. No deduction whatsoever. From the start to the finish, they will be evaluated. A little short on a couple of the handstands, but a solid routine for Emily. Way to come back, especially mentally, after breaking a grip. Now, there are grips that the athletes train with every single day, so quite often, if you've got to switch that grip out, it can feel a little bit different. What a comeback for Emily.
That was a 9.725 for Emily Reimer. And here's Carmen Pickney with the Auburn Lady Tigers. SEC Academic Honor Roll last year.
Carmen has had an ankle injury. This is her first floor team in about a month. We talked about the injury difficulties this Auburn team has had this year. 2.5 to a front tuck. You could see her ponytail scrunchie fly out. Head coach Jeff Thompson has made it known that his team is competing with heart in this competition. Because of the injuries, he said that he would evaluate their performance after the first 2 rotations and decide whether or not they were going to put full lineups in, especially on floor. There was a possibility that they were only going to compete 4 athletes, but it looks like they're going to go for it and at least compete 5, which then would keep them in this competition in terms of a team finish. For Auburn, they have to keep in mind that the regional championships are just 2 weeks away. They have to be healthy enough to compete there with a full team if they want to qualify to the national championships.
Coming into this meet, ranked 17th in the country, they can aim for that regional meet to improve upon that ranking.
Their ultimate goal this year is to qualify to the national championships. Carmen finishing up strong. Great routine considering that's the first one she's competed in a long time. This is one of her rebounding passes, which can definitely be stressful on an ankle injury. A 2.5 twist to a punch front, a little bit sloppy in the air and low on the landing.
9.550 for Carmen Pickney. Here's Arkansas's Amy DiFilippo, a very artistic gymnast that has great technical abilities, according to her coach, Mark Cook.
One of Arkansas's freshmen who've really added a lot to this team. Now, the first athlete up for Arkansas fell, so now the pressure's on the final 5 athletes. Switch leap, straddle jump, and another straddle jump. 3 C-level skills connected. She gained some bonus.
Remember, there are 7 teams competing, so the fans in the background could be cheering on another performer.
Front aerial, takes a pause. Back handspring, one arm back handspring, slight wobble. You see co-head coach Renee Cook in the background cheering her on. She can cheer, but she cannot give them technical advice throughout the routine. No coaching allowed.
That's an interesting rule, no coaching allowed.
But I will tell you this, that most of these athletes hear the phrases and the key words that their coaches tell them over and over again in the gym while they're up there competing. Renee likes it. Great comeback for Amy, getting her Arkansas team back on track. One fall earlier in the lineup, Amy showed tremendous concentration, holding on to this tumble series here.
A 9.825. And every fan here has a favorite. The Georgia Gym Dogs top all-arounder Katie Heenan is up next. Auburn coach Jeff Thompson trying to figure out a way to get his Auburn Lady Tigers back into this SEC Gymnastics Championship. And he's got Julie Dwyer, last year's SEC Gymnast of the Year.
And both Julie and Jeff knew that if she was to remain competitive, not only in this conference, but nationally, she needed to increase her difficulty this year, and she's done just that on this apparatus. Opening pass is a new one, only competed once before against Georgia, a double layout, excellent job. Now, Julie said her #1 priority was to see the team do well at this competition and to qualify to the national championships, but an all-around title would be nice as well.
Julie has done so much for her Auburn Tigers. She was the Freshman of the Year. Last year, as we mentioned, SEC Gymnast of the Year.
Definitely an athlete for Auburn that will go down in the history books as one of the best. This Auburn team, despite the injuries and the difficulties that they've had, are really giving it a good effort to have a good time in this competition. Julie hanging in there at the end, staying in bounds, a great routine, and showing off some big-time difficulty as well. She had the E-level opening pass with a double layout, and she gets combination bonus right here with a front tumbling pass, front full, rebounds into a front layout.
A 9.850 for Julie Dwyer and her Auburn Lady Tigers. Here's Katie Heenan, that go-to girl for the Georgia Gym Dogs.
And she's competing after a 9.975 from Courtney Kupets. A stuck landing could be a big score here for Georgia. There it is, a nailed landing, beautiful position in the air, big time for Georgia and Katie Heenan. This is what Katie is known for, these fantastic landings. It's like there's glue on the bottom of her feet. She sees the landing, bends the knees, and absorbs that power. Big score, 9.95.
Next up for the Georgia Gym Dogs, you see her, Tiffany Tolnay, the All-American.
Tiffany's capable of doing those 1.5 style vaults we saw a couple of the Florida athletes do, but here she stays a little bit conservative with just the Yurchenko layout full, although it is scored out of a perfect 10. Tiffany took the step on the landing. 1/10 deduction for the landing. Look at the length in her stride. Gaining momentum. She reaches back blindly onto the vaulting table. It's a 1.5 rotation with a full twist, a little bit long and flat, and that's where the landing problem came in.
So Georgia and Florida are locked in a tie as we head to rotation 6 at the SEC Gymnastics Championships. It's time to focus and settle in. We're headed for rotation 6 at the SEC Gymnastics Championships, and here's the lineup for that rotation.
For LSU and Florida, this is their final competitive event, and they are two of the top teams on those events in the country. And Alabama will look for some consistency on bars.
Here's Emily Reimer on beam.
This is also the final event for Kentucky. And consistency has been a problem for this team this year. Again, they are a very young and developing team. This is one of their freshmen.
And Emily led the charge for the Gymcats a month ago as Kentucky recorded its 3rd highest overall score ever.
Kentucky has been gaining some momentum in the second half of this season. This is an athlete that Mo Mitchell says is one of their up-and-coming stars. And for Emily tonight, she's already hit 3 events. Solid front aerial. And the dismount. Fairly conservative gainer pike at the end. A solid, consistent routine. That's what Kentucky needs right now. Emily showing off her aggressive style on her tumble series. 2 back handsprings to a layout. It's important to hit that lunge position and keep the arms pulled up above the head and stay centered over that 4-inch wide beam.
Here's the Olympic silver medalist, Taryn Humphrey. You see her top bar score in 07, a 9.925.
Alabama's had 1 fall on bar so far. So they need a hit from this athlete here, a veteran athlete who's well known for her great bar working. She has a nice swing and a solid body position throughout every routine. Getting her final handstand there, hop full, well done. Gaining momentum, here's the dismount, double layout, tiny hop on the landing. So for the Tide, 5 scores of over a 9.8, 1 fall, but this routine keeps them in the running.
This gymnastics championship turning out to be as competitive as we thought in the outset. Taryn Humphrey with a good score for her Alabama squad. They're staying intact and very cohesive as we look at Ashley Reed, who was voted co-captain her sophomore year for the Florida Gators.
Definitely a leader on this Gator team, and Ashley's trying to lead them to their first SEC championship since 1989. Bounces out of that full-in opening pass. Now remember, Georgia and Florida were tied after 3 rotations. Georgia's sitting on a bye right now. Florida's competing on their final event. They need to get the job done here because in that final rotation, they will be stuck on the sidelines just watching the scores coming up for Georgia and Alabama. Certainly hear a lot of energy and enthusiasm coming from her teammates on the sidelines. It's very important for Florida to keep their energy level up here. This competition's been a long one. This is the 6th rotation. Their final competitive event, so energy could be a little bit drained right now. The hours of training in the gym come down to right here, finishing strong with a double pike. Endurance is not a factor for Ashley Reed. Excellent routine for the Gators.
You know, Rhonda Fain prepared her team for this. Going in, they were the favorite, but once again, they hadn't won since 1989. Here's her last pass, Lori.
Strong difficulty from start to finish. Final pass is a double pike. She heads into a very sassy ending for this spunky Florida team.
Spunky indeed, a 9.875 for Ashley Reed. Here's Kelly Phelan on vault for the LSU Lady Tigers.
LSU, one of the top-ranked teams on the vault, and they need some big scores here. Yurchenko layout full for Kelly Phelan, and she nails the landing. Beautiful tight position in the air on this vault. See the round off onto the board. Reaches back, 1.5 rotations with a full twist and a beautiful strong landing. Legs were glued the entire vault.
They're cheering them on here at Alltel Arena. We'll be back with much more from the SEC Gymnastics Championships in a moment. Florida coach Rhonda Fain in anticipation of a possible SEC championship for the first time since 1989. And here's Corey Hartung about to get ready for her floor routine.
So far tonight, the Gators have gotten the job done. They've shown consistency. They have not counted a fall or any major break. Opening pass is a triple full, well done. Music choice is very complimentary of her style. Choreography shows off her very pliable and wiry style, just like a guitar string.
I like that description. Very well said, Lori.
Front double twist, again showing off that twisting style.
Once again, this is their last performance. They will be last on floor, and then that's it. They will watch the rest of the competitors as the championship winds down.
Something that's nice to see athletes do on the beam is work on releve, up on their toe, and that's what Corey does actually on the floor. Shows off her dance very nicely, finishing with a whip to a double twist. And again, playing up her flexibility. The end to this competition is close for the Gators. So far, very strong on their final event. Corey opened this routine up with a big-time triple full, and her final pass was a whip to a double twist. The whip before the double twist adds combination bonus and extra difficulty.
A 9.9 for Corey Hartung and the Florida Gators. Here's Ashley Claire Kearney, the #1 ranked all-arounder. We've said it many times in this competition in all of the nation.
We have not seen a perfect 10 tonight, but she is capable of it here. Huge Yurchenko full, nails the landing, outstanding.
LSU did not start well in this competition, but they look to be finishing very well, Lori.
What a strong finish for the Tigers here. Big time vault for Ashley Claire Kearney. Look at the height that she gets on this vault. But again, 4 judges, they must all agree on a perfect 10. We've seen a 9.975 from Courtney Kupets, a 9.95 for Ashley Claire Kearney.
So near perfection for Ashley Claire Kearney. This is Cassie Price for the Crimson Tide.
Difficult combination here, toe on, right into a Hindorf, and she misses.
Oh.
Big miss for a freshman here at her first SEC Gymnastics Championships. She has been so solid for this Alabama team all year. 30 seconds to remount, and she will begin the routine where she left off. Toe on half again in trouble. Giant half, bail to handstand. Trying to regain her swing and her momentum. Gaining speed into the dismount. Pikes down slightly on the double layout. Cassie holds back just a little bit on this Hindorf. Take a look at her shoulder angle. She doesn't get fully open as she's throwing her body from the bar. That causes her to go further away from the bar than she would like, and her hand slips. She's unable to regrasp.
Oh, what could have been, but a 9.250 will be dropped. They can remove that score. The final routine for the University of Florida will be given by Amanda Castillo on floor.
Now Amanda struggled with a fall on the balance beam. She's looking to refocus and prove something here and have a big finish for this Florida Gator team, opening with a huge full in back out in the piked position.
If she's feeling the nerves, you cannot tell, Lori.
She really is an amazing competitor. We saw her against Georgia earlier this year, dancing and having a great time on the side. She brings so much energy and enthusiasm to this team, and a whole lot of spunk and personality to this floor team. One of those 6 athletes on the team from the Orlando Metro Gym, formerly coached by Jeff Woods. Jump combination, split full to a wolf full. Sometimes as a freshman, you don't understand the pressure or what hinges on your performance at a competition like this. Amanda coming through big time for the Florida Gators. That's it for them. That's all that they can do. Now they have to sit and wait on the sidelines and see what their fate is. Opening tumbling pass was a difficult one, an E-level skill, a full in back out in the piked position. You can see it right there. Excellent job. And of course, a routine full of personality.
A 9.950, a great score for Amanda Castillo, puts the Florida Gators in prime position to win that SEC championship. Georgia and Alabama are up next. Welcome back. Georgia and Alabama close behind the University of Florida. Can they surpass the Gators?
Well, Georgia needs a 49.45 on bars. That's 5 routines with an average of around a 9.9. And Alabama needs a big 49.65 on the balance beam. That's over a 9.9 average. So both these teams have their work cut out for them.
Here's Brittany McGee for Alabama on beam.
And up until now, Alabama has hit their beam routines. In fact, Ricky Levergern scored a 9.925 for the Tide. Tumble series coming up here. It's a crucial one. Gainer, one arm back handspring into a layout. She comes up crooked and is off. 5/10 deduction. Basically, Alabama needed to be spot on in this apparatus. Full turn, well done with leg above horizontal. Switch leap to a pike jump. Nice execution on those jumps. Remember, this is still a score that Alabama can drop, but they would have liked to have gained some momentum, build some confidence here to get those really big, high 9.9 scores. In the dismount, Brittany's known for her powerful tumbling. She has a big dismount here. Round of double back, nice difficulty, tiny step on the landing. Tough break for Alabama.
What happened on her fall here?
You can see she comes down a little bit stiff, lacking the rotation on that layout. And you can see the score 9.35, not helping Alabama in this fight to win the SEC championship title.
Tiffany Tolnay knows about a fight. She's an All-American, and she's up now for the Gym Dogs on bars.
Beautiful execution of her first handstand. Giant half into her Jaeger. Second hit handstand, bail to handstand on the low bar. So far clean, concise, crisp. Giant full, giant half. Here's the dismount, double front, blind landing. Tiniest of hops on the landing. Co-head coach Jay Clark likes the job Tiffany Tolnay gave him.
What a routine by Tolnay in the time that the Gym Dogs needed it most.
Beautiful stretch over the low bar, gives her that extra swing and height she needs for this double front.
A 9.9 for Tiffany Tolnay in the final rotation here at the SEC Gymnastics Championships. Coach Yacklin, so experienced in a gymnastics meet like this. Here's Miss Consistency, Katie Heenan for the Gym Dogs, her bar routine.
Toe on half, into a sky-high Jaeger, well above the high bar. Beautiful handstand positions, bail to handstand, toe on to handstand, toe on back up to the high bar. Again, hitting that final handstand. Katie is on this routine, but will it be enough? Double front, small step on the landing. Now Georgia has had scores of 9.8, 9.9, 9.75, 9.85s on this event. Not quite as high as they may need. They needed that 9.9 average. Katie's routine was amazing. The attention to detail was exceptional. Let's see what the judges give her. A 9.85, not enough. Florida takes home this SEC title for the first time since 1989.
Yes, the team title will go to Florida, but Courtney Coupette's still competing for the all-around competition. She, of course, is a Georgia Gym Dog.
Huge difficulty we saw with some of her release elements at the beginning of this bar routine. Right now, Katie Heenan leads the all-around competition, a hop full to a Tkachev. For Courtney, a 9.925 on this event will tie Katie for that all-around title. And of course, help her team, the Gym Dogs, to a second place finish here at the SEC Championships. She opens with a toe-on Shaposhnikova right into other combination work. There it is.
She ties Katie Heenan, a 9.925 for the all-around competition. But the big story, the Florida Gators, Lori, for the first time since 1989, are SEC champs.
Florida head coach Rhonda Fain has done a fantastic job over the last 4 years to prepare for this moment, and finally it is theirs. This team has that little extra something special to make them winners.
And when we come back, we'll hear from the champs on FSN. Say hello to the 2007 SEC Gymnastics Champions, the Florida Gators. There's the Arkansas Gym Backs, the home team performing very well here in the SEC Championships. The Florida Gators are the champs. Georgia close behind. Alabama right there. LSU finishes fourth. 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the country. They finished that way. Lori is down with the Gators, the champs.
Thanks, Corey. Congratulations, guys. For Florida, it's your first SEC team title since 1989. Rhonda, what's it like to be part of such a historic moment and a breakthrough for this Florida program?
It's unbelievable. I can't even describe the feeling right now, because these athletes have trained so hard this entire year, and we've just had the idea the whole time that we're not going to give up. We're going to keep fighting for every little thing, even if there's little mistakes here or there. The passion and the attitude and the heart that they competed with tonight was just unbelievable.
Now, Brianne, 4 years ago, you were Rhonda's first signed recruit. Does this make all that commitment and the 4 years of hard work well worth it?
It is so worth it. The team is just amazing. I wouldn't want to be with anybody else than any other team. They're just great, and I love them so much.
And now, Amanda, the pepper of this team, congratulations on an SEC Freshman of the Year award. What was this experience like for you?
Well, once in a lifetime, my first time out here. I really enjoyed it. I really soaked it up.
Melanie. Now, Coach, this team has been strong and very successful before. What was the difference tonight? What gave you the winning edge?
Well, I definitely think that the fact that so far this year we have competed undefeated, and the attitude and the aggressive attitude that we competed with was, you know what, we're going to win. There was no doubts from the beginning.
Well, congratulations again, and good luck at Nationals. What a year for the Gators. Back to you, Corey.
Congratulations to the Florida Gators. Now let's take a look at the all-around results. How about this? Katie Heenan and Courtney Coupette of the Georgia Gym Dogs tie with Ashley Claire Kearney, the #1 all-arounder in the country, finishing third. Lori's with the dynamic duo.
Courtney and Katie, maybe not the finish that you would like to see in the team competition, but a small consolation. You both share the all-around title. How does that make the night feel?
It was great, actually, when they called both our names up. I was like, yes! I was like, that's my girl! You know, I wouldn't want to be up there with anybody but her.
Same thing for me. I think that it's great to see that the two top gymnasts in the SEC are from the same team. I think that shows a lot for this team, and I'm so excited to be sharing this with Courtney.
And Katie, you have been a rock for this Georgia team for the last 3 years, and finally this year you're honored as SEC Gymnast of the Year. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I am so appreciative of everybody who voted for me. I love what I do, and this is great. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to both of you, and good luck as you work towards the national championships in a couple weeks. Back to you, Corey.
Thanks so much, Lori, and congratulations to Amanda Castillo, the SEC Freshman of the Year. Katie Heenan, the SEC Athlete of the Year, for her efforts. And, of course, Rhonda Fain leading her undefeated Florida Gators to the SEC Championship in the 2007 SEC Gymnastics Championships. Thank you for joining us. For Lori Strong-Ballard, I'm Corey Kessler. It's been a great season. We'll see you next year. Have a good one, everybody.